Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm myself, Fox Chair, on the show this evening, Big Stevie, and a one and only Wonder evening, Stevie.
How you doing? How are you, Linda?
Yeah, good evening, Stevie. Evening, Oxjet.
How are you, big man? All right?
Brand spanking. All good in the hood.
Feeling better? Is that Calpo worked?
Yes, the Calpo worked. Extra strong Calpo mixed in with some lighter fueling iron brew. Yes, some recipe you give me.
Yes, good to catch up with you Saturday night, big man.
It certainly was, yes. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I fully liked the location where we were. It was all grown-ups and very good. It was good company. Very good. Brilliant.
Yes, how are you, Linda, getting excited? That doesn't sound right, does it? That doesn't sound very nice, but you know what I mean.
Better watch what I say.
It's the company you keep, Doc. It's the company you keep.
It's the company.
She's a bad influence on us too, Stevie, isn't she?
Oh. I'll need to watch myself the night with you two. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend, Docs. Yes, and who knows what can happen before the deadline's finished today. Maybe something will happen.
We'll keep our eye on that. Fox about him coming around with the yellow tie on because it's transfer deadline. Did you see what about that, Stevie? What was it like?
Well, sunglasses, the yellow tie, transfer deadline day. Fantastic.
He's a man, isn't he? He's cool, Linda, isn't he?
Oh, he's very cool, very cool.
All right. Just quickly, you've had time to reflect. We know it wasn't the greatest watch in Tuesday night, but the boys, it wasn't perfect, but nerves, they've done all right out of the piece. Now you've time to reflect. Linda first, then Stevie.
Yeah, Ox. It was a game he was always going to give the youngsters a chance, and also the guys that have hardly played much. I've got to be honest, and I just wish they had got that third goal a bit sooner, Ox, because it was a wee bit nervy at times in the second half. And I think if they had got that third goal sooner, we might have seen more of the likes of Charlie McCann. I think he only got that 15 minutes, didn't he? But when you look back, time for some of those young boys was great. They'll be dead chuffed, and we just move on to the next game now.
Stevie?
Aye, listen, before a ball was kicked, I'd have took 3-1, looked at the team, I'd have took 3-1 all day. Look, it was a bit bland and pedestrian at times, and but look, job achieved. He got it right, Gio, didn't he? Flung a mateship team together. They went out and done their business. 3-1. We're into the next round. No injuries, and a lot of the first team squad get rested. So it's a 1-1, isn't it? So we just need to look forward to Dundee now in the cup and take it for there. But there were some nice passages I played the other night. I must admit, although a lot I'm saying it was a bit boring and bland at times, but there was a lot of good passages of football getting played there at times, especially one or two for the goal, couple of the goals there. A lot of good football played there. I thought Scotty Arfield was good, Stevie Davis. The kind of older ones were running the kind of show. He was up front, he was in the middle, Stevie Davis. I thought they kind of trolled it, and the young ones just done their best round about. Sakala, I mean, I was really looking for merit, Sakala and Matondo, but it never materialised. But again, I've not had a lot of time on the part of this, so, and again, it's never played together. But listen, all in all's well. As I say, all the players get rested, no injuries, we're through to the next round of the cup. And by the way, great home support again. Brilliant. Some big crowd. And that would have got a right good few quid out of that, Ox, eh?
Aye, a good crowd. I mean, if people get a chance to take their reins or whatever, it can be a good thing, because obviously you get the season tickets, Linda, but you've got to try and look after the rest of the support if possible. You know, people can maybe take the opportunity to go. It's great. What did you make of the draw, Linda? Home tie, Dundee, good draw for us.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for any better. You always just want a home tie. You fancy yourself against anybody at home. But, as I say, that was the game for maybe playing all the youngsters and, experimenting to a certain degree. I don't think it will be as, like that for the Dundee game. You could probably play some fringe players, but this is a big chance, Ox, isn't it? To get to Hampden again. And we'll just see what happens. But yeah, home draw, Dundee, fantastic. No disrespect to them, but that's probably one of the better draws we could have got.
Yeah. This next couple of weeks, Stevie, it's not going to make or break this season, but it could define it if we go on a good or a bad run, because we've got some cracking games coming up later.
Oh, man. It's great being a Bell now, isn't it, when you look at the next 3 games,
It's always great being a Bear, mate.
Aye, we know that, but just where we are now, and with the big boys, the Champions League and that, it's so brilliant to look forward to these games, I mean, Celtic away, Ajax away and Aberdeen away, that's the next 3 games, mate. That's what you want. You want to test yourself, you want your team to play and get on about it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. As you said, the next few games, it'll not make or break your season, I don't think, but if you want, imagine you won the 3 games, where it would put you. Oh, dear. Unreal.
Before we get to the glamour of Europe, we've got a trip across the city, Linda. Mixed fortunes for us last season. We had a bad half an hour there, and then the second game we played there, we done okay. We should have won the game. Fashion caused them all sorts of problems. I'll give you my thoughts quickly, Linda, before you maybe, Tom. And I think if we play, and I don't mean to be flippant, and I say it a lot, if we play, we win. If we do play on Saturday, we win.
Yeah, I think so. And, setting aside the fact that we have got some players missing, right, we totally understand that, but we've got a good enough team there. If you put your best 11 out against their best 11, I think we can win. What I would like is to have a bit of a go within reason. I hope they don't sit back, Ox. I think we need to, have a right go at them, because they've not been tested this season so far. So let's us be the team that tests them, give them their first test and see where it takes us. But I agree, we've got to be confident, and then we can match them player for player. Absolutely, no doubt about
that. Yeah. Stevie?
I totally agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying what you said there. If we play, we win 100%. I just think the boy Tillman and the Lawrence, if they're playing, and Kolach, I think that game, the last time we went there, Fashion gave them a torrid time. I just can picture the big boy Kolach doing what he does, the high press, being a pest to him. I don't think we'll live with it. I really don't. Constantly the full game, I don't think we'll live with it. But that game, the last time we were there, we grew into it, and Fashion should have buried it at the end when it hit the post. And we had a few shots, and we should have buried them, but they've played nobody, Ox. They're in the high, they think they're world beaters again, and I think, personally, they're going to get pulled back down a peg or two. I really do.
All right. I want to discuss, before we go on and talk about the game on Saturday, I want to ask you two learned presenters on Rangers Radio. Yes. I think he might be the most too intelligent we've got, mate, if I'm being honest. I don't take that as a compliment right enough. Right, we've brought in a few players over the summer, and obviously they've been mixed, so I just want your thoughts, and we'll go through them one. And it's hit, miss, or the jury's out, because obviously we've not seen them all. And if you think you've not had enough time, obviously the jury's out. So we'll start with the young boy who had a good game and a lovely bit of skill for the second goal last night, young Ridvan.
Mm-hmm. You want me to go first, Ox?
Of course, ladies first. On you go, Stevie.
On you go, Stevie.
All right. All the tweegies, eh? Right, but fam, no seen a lot of him. When what I have seen him, you're thinking there is a player in there. We must have. I'm just seeing wee bit snippets right enough, as I said, but not seen too much of him. So I'm going to say the jury's still out on him.
All right, okay, Linda.
I would agree. Jury's still out, definitely.
Me too, but I think he swayed a couple of the jury with that bit of skill there.
Yeah.
Aye, lovely. Yep.
And I think this is an easy one. Ben Davis, Linda.
Jury's still out, absolutely.
Aye.
I'm worried. It's giving me the fear, Stevie.
Aye.
He just disappeared, didn't he?
Listen, we signed him and I thought he was just an automatic straight in there. He's going right in there and he's going to be there for the start and we've not seen him. It's kind of worrying. But look, I mean, you can't really comment on something you've not seen, you know what I mean? So just let's see what it brings. But I'm sure, listen, your man Klopp signed him for Liverpool. He never signed him if he never seen something in him. So just let's wait and see what happens here.
Okay. John Suter, Stevie?
Again, I mean, we've seen him. I'm going to say a miss for the fact that what I have seen him, I don't think he's hit the ground running, to be honest. So I'm going to say he's a miss.
Linda?
On that performance at Livingston, a miss for me too.
Oh, she's a tough crowd. Tough crowd. So we move up the park, and obviously we brought in the boy Tillman, plays sort of midfield forward. Linda?
An absolute hit.
Yes.
No doubt in my mind, hit.
He'll be remembered for that goal he scored forever, wasn't he? That was a unique goal. You know, that header he had, yeah?
Yeah, fantastic header and everything about him. He's got a lot of enthusiasm for seeing more of him, Ox, and I know we've got the option to buy. Maybe too soon to think about that, although folk are saying buy him now, but we don't need to rush with that. But from what I've seen of him, definitely a hit for me.
Stephen?
Got to agree. Total hit. He's reading of the game, his skill, he's just got, you can just see it oozing out him. He's a football player, you know. I like him. If we've got the money, get the boys signed up in now. What age is he? 21, 22? I mean, unreal. The boy's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. What I've seen him so far, 100% hit.
I think he's the kind of players that people go to the game and want to see, if I'm being honest. Linda, yeah?
Yeah, as Stevie says, got a lot of skill. Gets himself in good forward positions. You know, a bit about him, and also a bit of savvy. You think about the PSV goal that took us through the Champions League. Some other people in our squad would have tried to shoot there and probably hit it against the goalie. Looks up, lovely wee pass. Cholak's got the tap in, so he's got something about him. And for a young man who's not played a lot of senior football, albeit we know it was obviously Bayern Munich, I think he showed a lot of really nice touches and some really great play, and we're all quite excited to see more of him, I think.
Aye. I think if he's on the bench or getting rested, there'll be groans when we get games at Ibrox, if I'm being honest. As we sit today, you know, people can lose form, but as we sit today, Stevie, Tom Lawrence.
Oh, 100%. It does make that difference. He's tough. He can take a tackle. He can shoot, which is a big plus for our team outside that box. He can hit a ball. We've seen what he can do there with PSV. That would have been unbelievable if that ball hit that net that night. The way he beat the players and bent that ball and it just hit the underside of the bar and came out. Unbelievable. I think Tom Lawrence is a hit for me anyway, Ox. 100%.
Don't disagree, Linda.
Yeah, totally agree with what Stevie says there. Got something about him again, Lawrence. I think he can stand his ground on a football park as well, Ox, you know. And he likes a shot at goal. So, yeah, he's been a definite hit to get him in a free transfer. And, you know, like he's settled in really well. So, yeah, a definite hit for me.
Rabbi Matonda, Linda.
What I've seen so far, it's a miss for me.
Stephen?
I can only agree. I miss. I just can't see a player in the boy. I see speed, and I don't see nothing else with it. You know. I'm hoping that we can do something with the boy, develop him a wee bit. But for 3.5 million for Schalke, I'm just hoping we can do something with the boy Ox. But definitely a miss for me. You know.
All right, big Cholak up front, Linda.
Oh, absolute hit. So much so I've ordered the cardboard cutout, but that's another story.
I wonder why, yeah.
This guy to come in and play the way he has, Ox, and the number of goals he scored, the different type of goals. We've been looking for somebody like him for a few years, and I know Alfie's done great as well, but he's obviously different. Big Cholak's different. But for him to hit the ground running when we needed him, it's an absolute gem, and I just hope he continues and goes into bag a few more goals. And he's just a big likeable guy as well, isn't he? He's even changed a bit of his game as well, Ox. Getting more involved in the play, and his work rate is second to none. So yeah, an absolute hit for me.
Stevie?
Oh, dead ringer for Ryland, isn't he, that boy? But I'll tell you.
No.
Oh, aye, if he's a ringer, man, big Ryland, aye. But I think a lot of people talk about his finishing. But see, if you watch a game again, I've watched that about 3 times, PSV, see the way he hunts down the ball, he chases his work rate. I mean, everybody's talking about Tillman, the way he nicked in and got that ball, but it was through the big man's high press, pushing the keeper for him to play it out in the first place, for Tillman to nick in, and he's always there in the right place. He's just got a striker's instinct, doesn't he? He's just there. He can score all sorts of different goals with his head, run about the box. He's a predator, and that's. I mean, we've really needed him now, haven't we? But he's came at the right time for us, and definitely 100%. I just love his work rate. I mean, the big man doesn't stop. For a big boy in a big frame, it doesn't stop at all. And I'm falling in love with him. I really am. He's absolutely top class.
A bit of bromance, Linda?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I think you've been very fair in your summing up. I mean, obviously, we would like players to kick on and be better, but I think as we sit today, I think you've been fair, and I'm sure John Suter and Matondo maybe once he gains a bit of experience, but it doesn't look ready to play in the first team regular yet. But hopefully it makes us all eat our words, Steve, yeah?
Aye, well, that's what we're hoping. That's what I'm saying. I'm just hoping we can do something with the boy Matondo. And Big Suter, you've seen him. I've seen him up here in Scotland for a while now. With Hearts, I know Hearts is a different ball game for Rangers. I think he will come good, but his time's just not been now. And we've got to remember too, the boy lost his brother. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, everybody's different. Some people might get out of that, get up and go on with it. It might take other people a long time to get out of their brother dying. You don't know what the situation is with the boy. So we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He'll come good, I would say.
All right. I think that's fair. Linda?
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we were only basing it on what we've seen, Ox, and I think that was fair enough. But we're all really desperate for Big Suter to come good, and hopefully he gets over this injury that he got and these personal circumstances. It's terrible. You don't want to read about that. The thing about Matondo, he's not even played a lot of football in the first team, as in like the games. Apart from Queen of the South there, he's not been on an awful lot. But see the Queen of the South game the other night, I was expecting more from him in that game, and he didn't really show it. So that's why I said, a miss based on what we've seen. But as Stevie said, you're desperate for these people to do well. So hopefully he'll improve. The only one wee thing about that is apparently his best football comes when he plays off the left, Ox. Just reading to what people think about him. He's not been a right winger before. So
that was the Johnston game. Huh?
Yeah, he played left there for us, and when his best football at his previous team was coming in off the left. So again, we're still no nailed down that right-sided forward position yet, haven't we not? So
no, it's became a bit a strange position, isn't it, Steve? Right-sided winger, if you like, yeah.
Aye. It's just like my left-sided centre, man. We're still trying to sort that, It's just, I don't know what we do here. I really don't. If you're getting players not playing in their natural positions, I mean, it's like the boys' Sands. He was getting a rough time there, wasn't he? Playing in centre. He's not a centre back. And then some of his performances lately have been absolutely outstanding. He's been brilliant, but aye, it's a position. The right wing's been a position that we've not really nailed down at all, no.
All right, if it's all right, we used to lovely people, we'll get the phone lines opened.
That sounds like a plan. Let's get the listeners in and hopefully they give us a bit of stick. Aye.
Well, you're certainly entitled to it. Right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Football's all about opinions, and Billy and one of the callers last night, the opinion that Alan McGregor would start on Saturday. Thoughts, Linda?
No, it's McLaughlin for me. I just think he's been chosen as the number one. I think you've got to stick with him. I know Alan's got all the experience of playing in the Old Firm games. He's played well against them, particularly the shot stopping. But I can't see his changing that, Ox. I don't really think John McLaughlin's done anything to deserve being dropped for the game either. And I know it's horses for courses. So no, I don't see that. I think McLaughlin will keep his place.
Stevie?
Aye, McLaughlin for me as well. I think the boys no took his medication. No way they're going to drop McLaughlin. What would that be telling the boy, You're our main keeper, but you come to Parkhead, you're drop McGregor's in. Bear in mind, they made a fantastic save against PSV. Made a couple of good stops, but there was one, the boy was right through and he turned and belted it. And McLaughlin was in the right place. I don't know if he knew much about it, but he got onto it anyway. And it was a great save. So I know McGregor's the best shot stopper we've got, but I would just prefer McLaughlin to be there for high balls and coming off that line quick and stuff like that, His distribution's a wee bit better, I would say, as well. But no, it would definitely be McLaughlin for me. But as you said, everybody's entitled to their opinion, Ox.
Aye, of course you are. Doesn't mean they're right, they're entitled to it, innit?
That's correct. Davey, the Malteser kid, is he away on holiday here?
I think there's been a wee bit of an overdose, mate.
No, I like Cole Davey, aye.
He'll be on the night, doesn't matter where he is in the world, because Linda's on.
That's right, aye. Oh, look, Linda, sorry I brought it up now, ain't you?
You used to be my friend.
All the pundits have got their fans, all their fan mail, and Linda's get Davey.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, David on holiday sitting in his Elvis onesie listening in. Brilliant.
Oh dear, aye. Right, okay. Big game on Saturday. The nerves are the kicked in yet? No, but they're coming, Stevie.
Oh, aye. Aye, it's the runner, innit? Of course, aye. The battle fever's starting to kick in now. Listen, this is going to tell me a lot about the Rangers, the new players, the Rangers team. This is going to tell us a lot about our team on Saturday. When we go here, their crowd will be up for it. Don't you worry about that. And we need to have a bit of guile about us here, going here, Ox. And this will tell me a lot about this Rangers team. If we can go there and keep ourselves together and grow into the game, and we play, we'll win. And by the way, the 800 bears are there. I know they'll sing their heart out. And if anybody's got a spare, I can give you my phone number, the roof.
Oh dear, begging, terrible, but he means it. Right, Linda, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's obviously, it's early doors in the season, and there's plenty of games still to be played, Ox, but obviously with the disappointing, couple of points we dropped at Hibs, albeit that could have turned out a lot better for us. You're going into this game and you're a couple of points behind. But at the end of the day, it's a pressure game, even if you were ahead in the league as well. So we've got players in that team that have played at Parkhead. They've got lots of experience, but we've obviously got these new guys that are coming in. And I'm sure that the players will be, keeping them up to date this week, briefing them and what this means and what to expect. And as you rightly pointed out before, last season, what was it? It was two wins apiece and a draw, wasn't it? And if you think about the loss, the 3-0 loss, I mean, that was the postponed game from the new year, wasn't it? When they brought forward the winter break. So didn't he do us any favours?
Are you saying that somebody manipulated the fixtures to bring in new players, Linda? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely not. I couldn't possibly. I'd need to speak to my lawyer first before I'd said anything like that. But aye.
Okay. Don't disagree. Right, okay, aye. Listen, Stevie, if we play like we did in PSV, we've shown that we can do it, and I think the team will know we're far away from that.
100%, Ox. We played better teams than them, let's be honest. My worry is that the referee refs the game and doesn't influence the game as well. If we can get a level playing field and we can get to play football and get a fair crack at a whip, we'll do all right against them. Put it this way, we'll no lose the game. Put it that way.
All right, Linda, I've seen you've been hit the cranes out today, right, your team out and that. And there's a few lines, so you've obviously changed that a wee bit. So, what was your team?
Well, I've got the same team that started against PSV away. I hope I'm right in saying that. So I've got McLaughlin. I've got a back four of Tav, Goldson, Sands and Barisic. I've got Lundstrom, Kamara. And then I've got Lawrence, Tillman and Kent with Big Cholak up front. The kind of point.
Yep, I get where she's coming for, Stevie.
100%, and that's the exact same team I would play. 100%.
Passes your paper over so I can check it. Oh, it's no countdown, is it? Sorry. Aye, I don't think you'll be far away with that one, I really don't. But it'll be interesting to see what other people think. People might want to bring in Scotty, because he gets stuck in and he's experienced in these games. There'll be other people think, how are we not playing Jack Davis? I get that. I mean, a few months ago, you'd never have thought you'd been playing an all-firm game without thinking about playing Ryan Jack, Stevie.
No, that's how it's changed, mate. We're making steps up, and unfortunately, I like Ryan Jack, but I don't think he's been the same player since his injury. I just don't think he's been the same player. And I like your boy. I like everything about him. I mean, the other night there, he stuck out like a sore thumb. I thought he strolled it, in the position that he played. But no, I mean, we're getting up levels here, and unfortunately, I think it's yourself that keeps saying it. Fans' favourites are going to get left behind as we go up here. I mean, we're getting into the Champions League. It's a step up for Europa, and we're going to make signings, and people are going to get left behind. That team we've got now, you need to fight for your position to get in there, Ox. And some of them, I mean, as I said to you, I thought the last time we were at Parkhead, I thought Sakala had a great game. He got his goal, he hassled him, he missed a header, he hit the post when it should have been, that's it, game over. And he disappointed me the other night. You've got to grasp your chance when you get it. And he didn't do it the other night for me. And this is going to be the same with Ryan Jack. Now, Stephen Davis, I mean, he's just a silky soccer. He's absolutely fantastic player. He's reading a game. And people keep talking about he's getting old now. He's an athlete. He's training every day.
Do you reckon Stephen just takes his strip home and brings it back in next week? You know, I'm going to get it washed for him.
There's some games he doesn't even break sweat. Aye. But listen, it is a sign of maybe where we're going here, Ox, when you're leaving these guys out. I mean, you're talking about Ryan Jack, Stevie Davis and Arfield, no starting. I mean, that's a strong bench. You look out at the bench. Regarding their, what you call it, their experience, you know, and a game like that on Saturday, you know, it's unreal what you've got there sitting on the bench. And you've got Pace, Taylor, right, and Matondo. If you're bringing them on 60, 70 minutes, look at this pace they two boys have got. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I just think the way things are now, they think they're world beaters. And we've been playing better teams than them. If we can just go, keep the back door shut, keep our nerve for the first 15 minutes, ride that, and grow into that game, we'll beat them.
Aye, I'll stick to my original statement, Linda. We play, we win.
Yeah, definitely, Ox. I suppose we all kind of know the way it's going to pan out at the beginning unless they throw a curveball, but they tend to go sort of hell for leather, don't they, the first 10, 15 minutes and try and score. So we've got to be ready for that. And what it would be a wee bit, you know, it would be nice if we could actually score first. You know, I know we did at Ibrox, you know, when we lost 2-1. But I think in obviously the loss, the 3-0 loss, and then even in the Cup, and then the game when we drew that Sakala should have got as the win, we conceded first. So it would be quite nice if we could get the opening goal. But we really have to make sure we don't give away anything silly as well, Ox, you know, and don't leave their players standing at the edge of the box so they've got free shots.
Concentration, Linda.
Yeah, definitely. And don't stand off them either. You know, obviously, you know, we've seen games where people at Barisic just, you know, stepping back, you know, letting them, you know, get into the box and set up chances, take shots away, you know, be on the front foot. It's easier said than done, as Stevie said, the atmosphere as well. You know, we've only got the 800 fans in, but I'm confident that the players that we've got will be able to stand up to that. And as you say, total focus. And if we get any chances, we need to take them.
Aye, okay. Aye, you've sort of put your stall on both these what the team's going to be, so it'll be good to hear from other people. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes. It's 3 points, that's all it's up for grabbing Saturday, Stevie, ultimately, but it's more than that, innit? Let's be honest.
Aye, and although it's just 3 points, Ox, I mean, if you win it, you're on a high, and it does your confidence a lot of good going into the next games, you know. You really want it, as it can. Although it's 3 points, it's just a bit melon that, Ox, at the fact that you win it, you're on a high, and then you get into the Ajax game, giving it, no, we've been to a hostile place like Parkhead and won, but we go to feed here, you know what I mean? So it does everything for your confidence, especially whoever gets a goal or not. They're bursting at the seams, you know, so hopefully Big Kolak breaks his duck. You know, he's been on a run and a fantastic run at that, and I think he will give them problems. Let's be honest, Ox, they're rubbish at the back. They're quite good up front, middle to front, but they're rubbish at the back. And if we can keep our back door closed, then I've no doubt that we'll score against them, mate. No doubt.
Linda?
Yeah, I agree with Stevie. And we've got players like Ryan Kent that scored in big games there already, haven't we, Stevie? And when there's been a full stadium, when you think back to the game and Big Katic get the winner, and good luck to Big Katic as he obviously was transferred out, wasn't he? That game, Ryan Kent scored a brilliant goal. We also scored a great goal in a 2-1 loss as well, that we probably should have won. I don't know if that was 2 seasons ago. So we've got players. Golson's obviously scored a couple there as well, albeit that was during COVID. So they know, we've got players that know what it takes to go there, score goals and win. So these sort of players need to stand up. But I agree with you, Ox, that we need to make sure we keep it tight at the back and don't gift them anything. And as I said earlier, take our chances and, spring them, get up there on the break. We've got pace in the team. And let's see what happens. I'd love Big Cholak to get a goal. A 1-0 victory with him getting the winner would be absolutely terrific.
You're not biased, are you?
I'm trying not to show it.
She's no biased, Stevie, is she?
No, it's nothing to do with football. And there it is. Absolutely all to do with football.
I've not felt this way since Super Ali.
I'm not going to comment, Stevie. I think it's best.
Aye. But there it is. 1-0. He gets a goal.
Oh, brilliant.
Aye. Okay, we'll see what it takes us. But on Saturday, with your team, see how close you are and see what you think. And obviously, Stevie, if we get a result on Saturday, it makes the start of the season. I'm not going to say good. I'm going to say excellent.
100%. 100%, Ox. We beat them. You know yourself, no matter what's going on, as soon as you beat them, all's forgiven. All the moans and groans get back out the window again, didn't they? So they know what they've got to do, Ox. We've been to better play. But of lately, PSV, the 2 games against PSV, especially the game at Ibrox for me, not so much at their place. The game at Ibrox, that team were excellent. PSV were excellent. They were top draw. They were passing that ball about. They were making us move. They were strong. They were physical. And we stood up to that challenge, Ox. Although we're in Grun, we stood up to that challenge because they were really on fire that night. That would have been their best performance probably so far this season, I would say. For me anyway, maybe beating Ajax in the cup final, they might say that, but outside of that, I would say that's probably their best performance at Ibrox this season, and we stood up to that, and it was a strong physical challenge. I mean, some of the boys are big boys, especially the high balls, the corners and that. We done all right, just again, a couple of set pieces. We need to watch that. The zonal Martins no for me, but we'll see what it brings at the weekend. But as you say, we won on the moans and groans, go to one day, and when you look back, we started at Livingston to the new, we've had a great start.
Yeah. Young Stephen Kelly off to Livingston, nominal fee, Linda, so we wish him all the best. The boy's a tidy player, and we wish him all the best for his career.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we thought we had some good... we thought he was going to sort of maybe break into the first team, didn't we? When he went out on loan, I think it was to Ross County, we thought, if he comes back, he could maybe force his way into the team. He's been learning off people like Stephen Davis, but it just hasn't worked out for him. I think that's a good move. David Martindale's a good manager. I know it's that plastic pitch every other week for him, but it's a permanent deal, and I think he'll get games there. And if he does well, then, as I say, all the best to the young man.
Sorry, on mute. I wish him all the best. Unlucky, good football player, decent lad, Stevie. Just maybe not quite, but you never know. It could go progress and could come back again. It's happened before, mate.
Aye, like Barry McKay. Barry McKay went out and he's come back with Hearts, and he's a stick out every week for Hearts, let's be honest. So there's been a couple of games where you went to be the right thing, maybe not letting him, maybe bringing him back to us, you know, with some of his performances with Hearts. So aye, the boy, look, best of luck to him. He's a good young football player. He never cut the mustard with us. And David Martindale's took him on. Fair play to David Martindale. One thing about Livingston, they give you honesty. They don't rip their support off and lie down to anybody one week and then be great the next week. And it's always a hard game when you play Livingston. A bit of honesty there with that wee team. And fair play to David Martindale for taking the young boy on. And I just young boy does well.
All right. Right, aye, so do I. I wish him all the best, and apart from when he plays us, Linda.
Oh, absolutely. I hope he has a bit of a stinker in that game.
Aye. I mean, obviously when we play him, it could be Holt and Kelly playing against us, you know. The football players are chasing Holt to get us about work hard, but look, Stephen Kelly, going to have a great career, son. With all the best wishes for the whole of the Rangers family. You just didn't quite make it, but go and have a good career. And a nominal fee and somebody have the wage bill, Linda, you know, could be some movement, you never know.
Yeah, you never know, Ox, and maybe we'll get a signing tonight. You never know. Might keep some people happy.
Oh, need to go some, Stevie, wouldn't we?
Definitely, aye. Okay, just don't know what it'll bring. When's your Monday shut? 12 bells, isn't it?
Midnight, yes, just before you got up for your work.
I know. Just before you phone me every day. After the gym.
Oh, don't say that, mate, don't say that. Right, okay, Big Catix left us yesterday again. Unlucky injury, maybe. Or was it the team improving and maybe showing up his lack of ball skills? Is that fair, Linda?
Yeah, I think you're right, Ox. A lot of people wanted him to get another chance, and it was the same situation for him as well, playing on the left side of centre defence, and he's right-footed. Always, gave you everything, but I think with the amount of times our centre backs are on the ball, I think that was the kind of chat, Ox, that maybe the ball playing skills just weren't kind of as high as we would need in terms of the style of play that both of them want to play, Gerrard and Gio,
All right, talking about style of play, we've been joined by Peter. Evening, Peter.
Evening, Ox, evening, Linda, evening, Stevie. How are you all doing?
All right, Peter.
Good, mate.
Hi, Peter.
How's yourself?
A bit frustrated, I think, like most of us. But
This is around. If you've got an issue like that, mate, you phoned the wrong number.
I wish it was that. It's transfer window night.
Right, what's your frustrations?
I just thought maybe with the Champions League money, maybe I brought in another couple of players. That it is what it is. The other worry is...
What positions and what amount of money? What was your thinking? What was your rationale?
I wouldn't... Well, let's say for Toxie you could bring in... I know it's a lot, but you've got 3 strikers as it is, but maybe our thinking was, well, we don't know how long Morelos and Roof are going to take to get up to speed. We surely could get another striker in for about 2 million.
Stevie?
Well, I said that earlier on, didn't I? I'd be looking for another striker just at the fact that the injuries and stuff, and Morelos' situation about he's been told, get yourself up to fitness, and then we'll take it through that. I probably would have liked to see another striker comes in. Touch wood. I hope nothing happens to big Kolach. Where would we be? I heard that Tom Lawrence got injured in training. I don't know how true that was or how bad that was, if it was true, but can you imagine that was Kolach? What would we do? So I was really hoping that we maybe bring another striker in. But again, when all these boys come back, how are you going to keep them all happy, But no, I agree. I'd have probably, with the extra money, get into Champions League, maybe looked at another striker.
2 or 3 million. I think it's difficult, Peter, and I've said this before on the show, I think it's difficult to get this mysterious third striker in. Unless you catch somebody at the right time in their career or when their contract situation's right, people will come to say, when we're going to be number 3. Linda, it's difficult.
Yeah, I know, Ox, I know what you're saying. How do you persuade somebody to come and sit on the bench or maybe not even be in the squad? But I do take Peter's point, and obviously Stevie said that as well. This is a concern for me because we don't know when are we going to get a fully fit firing Alfie. If Alfie was fully fit and fired, then I don't even think we would be having the conversation. But the hard fact is that he isn't. And also with Ruth, we just can't rely on him. And I know that's harsh, Ox, but I mean, it's the truth. There's another wee point for me as well. See if our wide players, right, were actually firing in goals as well and contributing to the goals tally, I think we would maybe have less concern around this as well, Ox. But when you look at Ryan Kent, Wright and Matondo, 0 goals so far this season.
It's an interesting start. And you come, Peter, I get your frustrations, mate, but I think it's difficult, and it's getting the right players in,
Oh, definitely, Ox. But there's another one that's just been released tonight from Barcelona, Braithwaite, as a Bosman. He can pose a winger as a striker as well, but I know he's in high wages, but we can always dream. But then going on to, as Big Stevie said, that was my other worry. The rumours, obviously they're just rumours, I don't normally listen to them, Ox, but this one seems to be picking up about Lawrence. It's a hyperextended knee injury he's got. I suppose it's six weeks minimum he's going to be on the bench. That's a massive blow, just as much as Čolak. That's a very big worry, because he's just starting to hit form for us as well. He's got that bit of dig. He's a playmaker. He's starting to score goals. I mean, apart from Tillman, Lawrence and Čolak, there's no real goals in amongst their team now.
No, that was the point Linda's making. Look, if he's injured, speedy recovery, get well soon, part of the game. It's happened before, and it'll happen again, but timing couldn't be great. Isn't it great, Stevie, is it?
No, definitely not. Listen, I don't know how true that is, but I've just heard they get injured at training. How bad it is, I don't know. But I've no heard anything for the club saying what's happened to the boy. But so I don't know how true it is. I don't know how bad it is before we start all getting into a panic. But no, the goals aren't coming from anywhere else apart from Big Čolak, Tillman and Lawrence. I mean, that's true. Just what Linda said there. I'm scratching my head going, how the hell has Ryan Kent not scored a goal this season? I mean, the amount of times he beats players and cuts in, his shooting is woeful. Let's be honest, absolute woeful at times. He should be doing better than what he's doing. But again, I get back to what I like to see is without him in the team sometimes, especially in Europe.
Aye, I get what you're saying, but if you just look at his pure numbers, Linda, and you take just the goal tally, it's poor, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's always been the problem. I think in the 55 title winning season, he got double figures, didn't he? Last year, nowhere near that. I think he's got a few assists. And as Stevie said, you would always want him in the team because he occupies the defenders and the other in the opposition, But he needs to chip in with more goals. Ox. We just need that. And Scott Wright, another one's been getting a lot of pitch time, and he's not been chipping in with goals. He had a good game on Saturday. I thought he played better against Ross County. Had a couple of assists, but we really need them to chip in with goals too.
Peter?
You're all great points again, but I think the reason why we're so frustrated with Kent is because we know there's much more in there. I think that's why, as Linda's touched on, his 55 season, he's proved he can do it, but it's just a key word, consistency in it. But there's no doubt in his work rate at times. He works back and helps Borna Barisic out. But it's just a key word, consistency. I think, obviously, the signings we've made this year, the 7 signings, obviously some of them hit the ground running, but obviously Matondo, Yilmaz, Ben Davies, obviously we don't know the extent of what's happened with him either, or Suter. And obviously we don't want to see it without really knowing what's going on. But we forget they've still to come in as well, but it's just the frustrating part. We always seem to sign players that take a bit of time to learn the league. Or we never really seem to sign players that hit the ground running. They say we've been lucky with Cholak, Lawrence and Tillman. That, they've hit the ground so quickly and they became such big players in such short time. But all we want is just a successful team. That's all we crave, and hopefully everybody writing us off for Saturday, we'll go and put on a show and show everybody how good Rangers really are, especially on Saturday at their house.
Yeah, great point you make about Kent, mate, and I'm going to contradict you a wee bit, but you'll see where I'm coming from. You're saying that you want to be more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I would, in some respects, Kent would be better being less consistent, but getting himself 10 goals a season in a back post, because he becomes more valuable, wonder.
Yeah, it's a valid point. It's a fair point to make. Because the goals stand out, and as Stevie said earlier, there's an element of frustration with Ryan Kent, because we know surely to goodness he can do much better. He must be firing them in training. I can't believe that's the way he shoots when he's actually training Ox. And I know it's a different atmosphere and it's a different, set of circumstances when you're playing in a game. But definitely his numbers have to improve. I don't know in terms of assists this year. I do think he's got a few. But if games are tight and say, our forwards are misfiring a wee bit in terms of our centre forwards, we need somebody like Ryan Kent to step up and get us a couple of goals. That's an absolute must this season.
Stevie, is that fair? You see where I'm coming from there?
I do see where you're coming. Can I come up with a wee theory? And just my opinion. You think he's been the same player, him and Ryan Jack, since Stevie G left?
Oh, I think if you look at the run in sort of March to the Europa League, they've shown that. I think Stevie G is a wee bit of answer for you. People might see it different, but I think Stevie G played Ryan Kent last year at the start of the season when he was the fit.
Aye. Well, I mean, there's a couple of wee things. I mean, look at, what's his name? Finnish international. Kamara. Look at Kamara. Since Aribo and Hingme left Bassey, his two pals. Has he really been the same player? I just think there's a couple of wee theories, but listen.
Eindhoven.
Aye, I know, aye. Played brilliant, aye. Got to give him that. But come on, apart from that, what I will say about Ryan Kent is, I see that hugging the touchline that he does and no running diagonal into the box so that Borna can play it through to him, or whoever's out there play it through to him. That's how Borna's had to stop and turn back or play it across the park or play it back away all the time. When Borna's up bombing along that wing with that ball, you watch Ryan Jack, he does the run, he stands and hugs the touchline, and Borna's not get anybody to play it to. And that's what frustrates us all about Borna. I just wish Ryan Kent would make that run into the box, a diagonal run with his pace, and he might end up getting a few goals doing that. I don't know if he's been told to hug the touchline, but common sense tells you if it's not working, it's not working. You've got to try something different in the middle of a game, and make that diagonal run. It frustrates the life out of me with that hugging that touchline. But as Linda says, his numbers they're shocking. He should be doing a lot better. I mean, look at the George Michael lookalike, the dark sign. No, he's been banging him in for fun. Know what I mean? So for me, Ryan Kent, it's frustrating the fact that we know he's a great player. That first season he gave us, that season he gave us with 155, he was in absolute fire. We were frightened we were going to lose him. And all of a sudden now his numbers are terrible. Some of his performances you're going, come on, he's something, we know you can do it. He's very frustrating in the Hawks, and we're not getting a lot of goals for Beth wins, we're not getting any goals at all. So if anything happens to Kolach, dear, touch wood, we're in soapy bubble.
Peter?
Yeah, it's great again, but yours is a great one as well. But Kent Oxford who's less consistent with more goals, then he becomes more valuable, and I see that as well. It's just frustrating because, as we're saying, there's not enough goals throughout the team. I mean, don't get me wrong, Davis took his goal well last week. One in the box, the volley, side-footed it in. But Steve Davis, you're running out of things to say about him. Just that Rolls Royce of a player. Great player to learn off for all the other boys, but I thought Charlie McCann, he looks a good player as well. Robbie Ure up front and Lovelace, I thought they'd done well in the game the other night, but obviously now I think you've just destroyed the boys, you put them in the team. But games like Queen of the South and that, they can come in and show the future's bright, but see here and now, obviously we need players for. But
I'd be interested to see, but people are always clamouring for you to get a chance, Linda, and I think they've got to be ready, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. As I said earlier, if we had got a third goal against Queen of the South, during the week there, I think we would have seen a bit more of Charlie McCann. He's 20 now, Ox. I mean, he's not, obviously the boy Lovelace, I think, is only 16 or 17. So Charlie McCann really needs to start playing a bit more football, doesn't he, at a higher level? But I don't think he wants to go out on loan. I think he was asked that question and he says he wants to stay. I'd like to see more of him in some of the league games when we're playing at home, Ox, against maybe some of the bottom half, in the league. Let's see what he can do, even throw him in and start him maybe in one of the games. But I do think somebody like Charlie McCann and obviously Alex Lowry, it's a shame for him with this injury because he definitely would have been playing, wouldn't he?
Don't get me started. That was one of that tackle was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Horrendous.
On that boy, that was shocking. Everything that's wrong about Scottish football, Stevie, wasn't it?
Totally and utterly. If I was the boy's dad, I'd be waiting for that boy coming out of the stadium. I really would. That was an absolute assault. That wasn't even football. That was an assault. And hardly a thing's been said or done about it. It's an absolute joke. And what a player he was turning into being. He'd have been playing the other night. He'd have loved that the other night. He'd have thrived on that. But the boy Charlie McCann seems to have a bit about him. And it's how we go about breaking the boy in and giving him more game time with the A-team, So for me, it's games like Ibrox, you're 2-0 up at half-time, you're coasting, and you put the boy on and give him some game time. You just need to be shrewd in how you do it. But Charlie McCann seems to be a good prospect, but that tackle down at Dumbarton, that was an absolute assault. Absolutely. Man, that's no needed at all.
Time of the game, score, everything made it wrong, wasn't it?
Look, you know what's happened? He's ripped that player apart all night. He's got his couple of goals. What was it, the 89th minute? Many goals. No, what was the actual score that night? Was it 5-0 or something?
No, man,
I can't even. We're cruising anyway, and it's the 88th, 89th minute, and the boy's just made his mind up. I'm doing him because he's been led up the full game with him. He's took a line of the boy all night. He could read what's happened, and he's probably one of the dark side and on went out and done him. You know what I mean? I don't even know if he is one of the dark side, the boy, but I take it he would be doing that.
Well, it was their type of behaviour, but I don't know. Anyway, we've reached that time of the evening. If you don't mind, Peter, Linda, Stevie, get yourself on mute because we're going to have a tune.
fought the IRA. They say the time of day, but let's say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. For I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. I fought those evil men, and I do it all again. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim land and the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. I am a loyal Ulster man. They say this day that I must hang. Well, I fought that evil band, and I freed my native land. They say this day that I must hang. So build my gallows, build them high, that I might see before I die the antrim land, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home. The antrim lands, the hills of County Down, and I'll see again the lights of home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay, Linda, Stevie, and Peter.
Yep.
Okay. Is it a big game for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, or is it a big couple of weeks, or have we passed that with Gio now? Yeah, he's bedded in, and he's slowly starting to build his own team. Linda?
I think we're past that with Gio now. I think he's got a lot of credit in the Bangkoks. You know, you want to go and you want to put on a good performance, and you obviously want to get the 3 points. That goes without saying. But I think with Gio, you know, he's got us to a European final. He's got us to the Champions League. Yes, we want to win more trophies. And to give him his due, he does as well. You know, you hear him talking about even the cups when we're playing in them. You know, he's got a lot of trophies in the cabinet himself in terms of his playing career. But no, for me, it is a big game. But if we don't get the result that we want, then I don't think it increases the pressure on him. I just think if anything like that was to happen at the weekend, I don't think the fans would be looking for, you know, paying for his blood. I think just taking into account what we've been talking about before the tune there in terms of maybe the lack of transfers, whether we agree with it or not, I think any criticism would probably be directed at the board. But for me, for now, Gio's got a lot of credit in the bank.
Stevie?
Oh, yeah, he's well established in the Hawks. You know, he's took us to a European final. I mean, we hit the bar last year in the league way, that run all the way to the European final. Now he's got us into the Champions League. We're past all the has he got it, has he no got it. The guy's got it. He's starting to build his own team now. Just let's see where it takes us this season. If he doesn't get things right, he's where the buck stops and he'll take the slack for it. There's no more... there's no time. He's not in a probationary period anymore. It's over and by way. He's a Rangers manager. He's got a couple of windows now under his belt, and just let's see where it takes us.
Peter?
No, I agree. I agree with Linda and Stevie. Both points are great points, but I think maybe if it doesn't all go to plan on Saturday, I think they'll do well on Saturday, but also if it doesn't, I think it'll be the board that maybe take more rap than Gio, because I think the way some of the fans look at it, well, we never really backed him enough in the window. Yeah, we signed 7 players. But obviously we thought we were getting Champions League football money. We maybe thought we'd have went and signed another couple of quality signings to add to the team to maybe take it to the next level. But I think it's just next couple of weeks. Every week is a massive week for Rangers. Every game's a must-win in the league. Especially, I know it's hard coming back for Europe, but every week's a win. We've got to win every week. Especially on Saturday, we've got to go and beat them. I don't want to be 5 points behind them with the goal difference they've got either.
No, I get your point now. Okay, fair enough. Gio, all right. I think he's earned the respect, Linda.
Yeah, definitely. Hasn't he, Stevie? Definitely has.
Definitely. Listen, he's much as he made the clubs as he came in the door with the Europa League run and then get into the Champions League. Just these 2 things alone. Never mind winning Scottish Cups and stuff like that. So, I mean, the money that he's brought in since he came in is just astronomical. You know, he's had his plaudits. Now's the time Gio's got to really show what he is as a manager. He's a Rangers manager. He's a class act. He doesn't get involved in no shenanigans. I like the way he goes about his business, and he's never got a bad word to say about anybody. He's just class Rangers manager. As you go to on the field, well, he goes to a European Cup and he's got us into Champions League. So I would definitely say he's getting there. And I mean, I wasn't really too sure at first, I'm going to be honest. And the more I'm seeing, the more I'm liking. Even the way he's handled the Morelos thing, even the way he's handled that, it was so easy for him to jump the bandwagon with the press and say, if Alfie doesn't behave, he'll boot the door. No, he never done that. He says, Alfie's just got into the Champions League today. He's one of our players today. He'll be delighted for us getting in as much as we're delighted he's still with us. You know, there was a maturity about Gio when he done all that. It was so easy for him to jump the bandwagon. He didn't do it. And I've liked the way he's handled the Morelos thing. He's handled it really, really good for me, and that showed a bit of maturity. So for me, he's earned the plaudits. He's earned the right to be there.
Maturity. Good word. Well said, Stevie. I get that. We couldn't find anybody like that, but we've been joined by Alex Kelly. Evening, Alex.
Good evening, you banger. Mr. Oxford, you do it again. Insult me another way. Good evening, Stevie and Linda and Peter.
Evening, Alex.
Is this,
you love it. You love it, really.
Ah, yeah, of course. I think it's lagging, no problem. I'll get you back, remember. I know what you look like now.
No, you don't.
What you saying, Stevie?
I was going to say, is this the totty for Lanzarote or is it the Burn Bank?
the Burn Bank banger. the other totty for Lanzarote is back home now. Andy came back here the weekend. But anyway, I seen a wee kind of memory that the boy that runs the Rangers archives put up yesterday, 31st of August 1986.
Ian Durant goal.
Ian Durant goal, correct. That was my very first Old Firm game. I was there in the East Enclosure with my dad. Can you recall your first Old Firm game? What was the score and who scored?
I'll ask the question, so I'll take the fifth in that one. Obviously, it was the early 2000s. Linda?
Sure.
Mine was the League Cup final, and I think it was Souness's first year, and we won 2-1.
That was a few weeks. That was a few weeks, about 2 months after that game that Alex was talking about. Yeah,
was it?
Right,
Ian Durant scored. The ball came down off his knee and put it in, and then we got a penalty. Roy Aitken fouled Terry Butcher, and we won 2-1. And I think a certain was it Brian McClare that scored for them, but Mo Johnson was playing. And Mo Johnson gets sent off in the game as well. I remember that. That was mine.
All right, okay. All right.
Very good. Stevie?
I can't remember league game, but I can remember my first League Cup final. 3-2. Mr. McCoy's Super Sally hat trick. Penalty kick at the end.
1984?
Aye. I was only a young boy at the Ice Atlantic jumper on 100 degrees of heat. I think my auntie knitted me. Honestly, it was absolute. I was pure itchy and everything. So absolute murder. But that was my first. I can't mind if I was at a game at Ibrox before that. I can't really mind. But my first game was. I'm just saying my first game was League Cup final. Super Sally hat trick. Remember Sandy Clark, the second goal, kind of slid in, and McCoy's goal had made it 2-0, and then Big Roy the Rovers done his usual, took the legs away from McCoy's extra time. And I always remember the Celtic end jumping when Bonner saved it, and the Super Sally got the rebound, tucked that away. And the Rangers end went absolute mental up there, bedlam. And that was that. That was my first one. 10 foot leaving that ground, 10 foot tall as a young boy. Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Peter.
How about you, Peter?
I was at the one, the sea tackle to the one at Ibrox. Avalaggi scored an extra time, and Nixon and all that were playing.
Remember, 2 November.
Yeah, that one. That was my. So I went to a few when I was young, but I can't really remember them. But that was the one. It was a scene tick holder at Ibrox. I went to that one. It was just great.
McLeish was the manager then, yeah?
Yeah, I think that was the week before. The weekend before it, we played Aberdeen, and Dado Puzzle split his head and wore a big band on his head.
All the bandies.
Yeah, that was a great night. Especially, I think Celtic were on a wee bit of a run then as well. I think that one of the first we beat them in a wee while.
Maybe it was. O'Neill would have been their manager then, and then we turned it round.
Mm-hmm.
They were on and won I think that was the semi-final, and then Ibrox, and then we went on and won the final, the David Cooper final. We beat Motherwell 5-1. That's good memory. I've got that right.
That's when Barry came back as well.
Barry Ferguson came back to the semi-final. That would have been maybe a quarter-final, but it was definitely a cup tie. Ibrox when Avalaggi scored, guy.
And what about you, Oxshire? You 60s or 70s?
I'm taking the fifth on that one, mate.
Boo!
Taking the fifth.
It's funny how our first one always seemed to stick in our mind, though. There's so many you've been to and that, you've just got your own wee special memory. As I say, I was there first seeing 10-year-old is in the East Enclosure, and just the bedlam when we scored, and you were getting through about left, right and centre, but it's and everyone's as special as the next one. You just look forward to them so much. But getting back to you,
was that not the first ever? Was that the first ever?
Televised.
Yeah, man, that was the first. I always remember that game. Brilliant. What a ball through for Super Cooper, wasn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. The skill and the vision to see wee Durant. It was a total blind pass, wasn't it? Sat Roy Aitken on his... Aye, he didn't even look at Durant. He just knew he was there. and the wee man just, I don't know what age Durant was at the time. He was maybe 19 or 20 or something like that. He was only a young boy. He sat Bonner on his backside and then just slotted it by him. But the celebration after it, Cooper standing with the arms out, waiting for him to jump in. He run right by him.
Aye, that's right. McHugh's lag on the top, wasn't it?
Aye.
Brilliant.
Aye, it was a
Brilliant.
special goal. I think it was a Sunday match winning. Obviously, it was people thought it would never catch on. Little did we know it was coming every night of the week. You know, but aye, special game, special memories. Alec, yeah.
It is personally, pal, because you always remember that first time, particularly going with my dad as well, you know. Unfortunately, my dad isn't keeping too well now with the COVID and stuff, so he can't get to games or that anymore, and, you know, it's just memories that he lives on now, and that's all he can abide by, you know, so... But I just thought it was good to get that feeling out there for the other bears that's listening tonight.
Good point, mate. Good point. What else you were going to make another point there?
Aye, no, I was just to go back to your kind of topic about the Morelos situation. I thought Stevie's view on that was interesting. Personally, I think Gio's been backed into a corner here. I don't think he's had much an option rather than to back him anyway, because he wasn't going anywhere. Not at this late stage of the transfer window. It was too late to sell him, and it was too late to get somebody in. Personally, I think he's putting the PC vibes out there that we've sat down and we're happy with his approach and all that now. But for me, and for Gio, I think that's the last straw with him. I think he knows about the letdowns. Is what's happened with Morelos before under Gerrard. If you cast your mind back, Gerrard just before COVID, Morelos come back late for Colombia. I think it was 4 or 5 days with it. Yeah, that's right. Important cup game away to Hearts. I'm not sure where he benched him or he sat him in the stand, but he certainly dropped him out the team. And then COVID came along. A lot of the outsiders kind of say, well, that COVID actually saved Gerrard his job. I would go far as to say is that actually saved Morelos Rangers' career. We did that. I think Gerrard was looking to get rid of him there and then. And now, 3 years down the line, we've still got the same petulant Alfie that's shown a bad attitude. His fitness isn't right. We've only got one fit striker. We've only got one fit centre half. What is happening with the board at Rangers? Why they not giving Gio the money just to get us by through the next 4 or 5 months until the January transfer window? But I can see Alfie, if he doesn't sign a contract, I can see Rangers sell Alfie in January and get something back for him.
Well, really a lot in January, mate, because you can sign for clubs for nothing. But when you say the board, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, because look, we brought in 2 centre halves that we thought might help improve our squad, maybe replace, maybe our team. We don't know.
Faith injured, Docs.
Faith injured, aye. You can't legislate.
Poor recruitment.
You know,
poor recruitment.
One of them's no surprise.
No, but you could do, Ox, because Souttar's coming. We know he's injury prone, and then he's injury prone again. Ross Wilson must have done due diligence on Ben Davis to see where he was in his career. Surely.
So,
you know what I mean? You see that's gross neglect.
You can bring somebody that's 100% fit, mate, and he can get injured.
Aye, but he's not been playing. And then he's disappeared again. So he's brought these players in. I'll pose a question to you. Do you think we're an improved team this year, an improved squad right now to where we were last year?
No, we're short of players.
I would say no.
We're short of players. But we've only lost 2 players, but because of injuries we're short of numbers. But if everybody's fit, Linda, we're arguing got a better squad than we had last year.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of key thing for me, Alex. I mean, I share your frustrations around the Alfie situation. You know, we know what he's done for us in the past, but for him to be in this position again, it's very, very frustrating. So I agree with you on that. You know, there was possibly was backed into a corner. It is all about the injuries, Alex, because if we had everybody kind of fit and firing, and I know that's in an ideal world, but let's talk about that, you know, hypothetically. I do think that we probably would say that we would go with what we've got. But for me, there is those concerns, and you've highlighted them. The centre-back position, yes, it's unlucky to a certain degree, albeit I take the point that Souttar's injury, you know, in the past, and Ben Davies hasn't played a lot of football. And then the striker position, we didn't think we would be in this position with Alfie. So you're right. And also as well, we paid £2.5 million for Matondo, who we thought was maybe going to solve that right-sided, you know, forward position. And so far, it's not exactly worked out, albeit there's still time for him. So for me, it is a combination of injuries and a couple of players maybe just not shown us what they've got so far.
No every transfer is going to be a hit. Is it, Stevie, as we debated at the start of the show? That's fair, isn't it?
Listen, anybody coming into a team is a gamble, innit? No matter what you pay for them. It's a gamble, no matter who you sign. You can sign Ronaldo and they might not make it up here. Open line is, I see where Alex coming for, right? 100% see where he's coming for. We all knew guys like Souttar were injury prone. Why did we sign them in the first place? I get that. But you could sign the boy and he might not get injured again. No, you know, but is that why he's off? Is it no because his brother's death? He might be looking after his family. Is it definitely 100% an injury? Is it a mixture of things? The boy Ben Davies, for me, I thought who was going to just walk right into and fill that centre half, left-sided position. I thought that's it. He's going to come in. We've not seen him kicking a ball. Are we ever going to know the right stories with it, people? Because that one there's a mystery to me, how he's not there and how he's not playing in so many games. I mean, the other night against Queen of the South, that was an ideal game to get him back in and let's get it rebooted. That was an ideal game for all these guys to get rebooted and let's get minutes into the legs and see where we're at. I just don't know what's happening. But I'm not going to start saying it's a failure when I'm not too sure if it's a failure or not. You know, I mean, look at the guys we have signed. I mean, Kolach has hit the ground running. Tom Lawrence hit the ground running. You know, so there is good signings there. It's as if we've no signed anybody good. We have signed. These three guys have hit the ground running in my eyes. And Matondo, to me, could they make him a player? Could they help the boy? Could they advance him? Aye, they probably could. And Ben, we've just never seen, like say, your man Ben Hingway. We've not seen any of him to even cast any thoughts on him. So I don't know. I really don't. I wouldn't totally say it's been bad negligence on the Rangers board's behalf or anything like that for no backing Gio with cash as well, because they could argue the point. They paid what for Matondo, and they've paid £5 million for Ridvan. You know, so for that alone, it's nearly £8 million. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say we've not paid out any money, and I don't know what the rest of the wages come in at. You know, so I wouldn't go as far to say that he's not had any money. You know, put it this way: when he was asked the question the other night, Gio, is there anybody else you're looking to bring in? He seemed quite happy with what he had.
I think you'd always say that, Stevie, but I think you'd always say that.
Aye.
You know, unless you were trying to deal it like Scott Parker did and put your board under pressure, the next thing you've not got a job. You know, but I think you'd always say that even if you're looking, and I think they should be looking constantly. I think that's their job to see, right, okay, is there any bargains out there? Is there anybody we can get in that's going to improve our squad who's maybe a free agent? And obviously there's been a rumour about Ross Barkley, and I know people will say, do we want another guy coming up from South with a big name and a big reputation? It's not really work for us, Alex, you know, but I think they should never stop looking. That's their job.
Yeah, definitely. No, listen, I get what you're saying, right? But the reason why I'm saying it's kind of negligence on the part of Ross Wilson. See, at the start of the season, I remember your shows and we're talking about the squad and everything, right? How many centre halves did we actually have in there that is potentially available? We didn't know about all the injuries. The only injury we knew about was Hollander long term, but with Jack Simpson in there, who we've sold, with Katic that we brought back for Hajduk Split, what we've now got rid of, with Balogun in there, what we've released and told not to come back, and we've obviously got Suter, Ben Davis, Goldson, but we're now having to play a midfielder in that position because we've not got anybody. Young King could slot in there, but to be fair to Sands has come in and played very well. But as Blue Stars said numerous times, we've only got one striker, one fit striker up front. That isn't good enough for our club.
No.
You know, I know you said it earlier on as well, Steve. That's no good enough for our club to go into these next set of games because we don't know the time limit. See if the likes of Roof and Morelos and that's coming back within the next couple of weeks, right, fine, we'll get over it. But see, at this moment in time, we don't know whether they're going to be 2 weeks out or going to be another 2 months out. See if they're another 2 months out. I think this is gross negligence for the board that they're not giving the manager any money.
I totally agree with the striker thing. If Kolac's got injured tomorrow in training, our next 3 games are Celtic away, Ajax away, Aberdeen away. Who are we going to play up front?
Physical games as well, Stevie.
Exactly, who are we going to play? So I was really expecting the night. I thought maybe Champions League money, maybe we'll get a wee surprise. I've not heard nothing yet, and I'm really surprised because me personally, I think Gio's well at that Alfie. I think the board said to Gio, you talk to him and tell him to get back to his fitness and get back in the show one day, get back in this team again, get back in the show one day and see the first team that comes in for him, he's off. That's what I think is going to happen because it's no good for him and no good for us. Him as an asset, him sitting on the bench, fat as anything, carrying that beef. The bottom line is, I think if Rangers had a team interested in him and who willing to take him, I think Rangers would have told him to go. But there's no. So they need to get him back. He's an asset. We need to get him back. We need to get him fit. We need to get him in the team. And then I think you'll see the last of Alfie. I think he's run his course with Rangers now, Alfie. And I've stuck by that boy through thick and thin when everybody said enough's enough after all the red cards and everything else. I fought his corner and I told him he was going to come good, and he did come good. He was destroying teams in Europe, and I had my jollies. I was going like that to guys like Timmy and that. Get rid of Alfie. Look, he's all singing his praises now. 2 goals against Feyenoord, goal against Porto, goal against Benfica, goals against Dortmund. He's destroyed people in Europe. You know, yes. So I definitely think at some point he's going to come back, and he's just the first team that's going to come in for him with decent money. I think Alfie's doing on his course, but the new, I was expecting somebody getting brought in tonight, because if anything happened to Kolac tomorrow, touch wood, training, anything at all, somebody in his family, anything at all happening, touch wood, it never happens. What would we do for the next 3 games? Who are we going to play up front?
I know. Ox, just briefly, I heard you last night said you would have Morelos on the bench for Saturday. See if we had to bring him on, would you trust him? Because that's the big issue now with him and the manager.
Are you talking because of the incident at Easter Road or because he's fitness?
Yeah. Well, both. Well, I think mentally trust him.
He's had 10 days to be trained, and by the way, if he wasn't fit and he wasn't fit enough to play, I would put the fact that he was put on the bench and brought on Easter Road down in the management. Yeah, if they thought he wasn't fit enough, he shouldn't have been on the bench. So he's had another 10 days to train. He's had another 10 days to train. So,
but would you trust him though on Saturday if we did have to bring him on?
My thoughts on Alfredo Morelos haven't changed before Easter Road, mate. I still think he's the same Alfie. Yeah, he's just that's what he is. That's the character he is. You know, he's been sent off once in 3 years.
I'd be 8 times in 5 years.
But You know, we all make
He's
mistakes.
good.
We all make mistakes.
I know. But he's got that baggage in there, that mental baggage.
Alec, don't fall into the dark sides the way they want us all to think about Alfie.
Stevie,
the wee guys,
I'm listening to Graham Souness talking top sport. He doesn't trust him. He's talking from a manager point of view. If you lose trust in a player, you lose control. And he said, I couldn't trust a player like that in a big game because he would let down your side too many times. So that's a former Rangers manager saying that.
Aye. Look, I'm not a manager by any manner of means. I'm only a supporter. It goes probably every week that I can. Me personally, I think he's doing on his course. To Rangers, he's an asset to Rangers off the field. How do we make money on the boy? You've got to get him back fit. You've got to get him back. I think he would be off if somebody was already in. I've said all that. But see all the sending off, all the other years, he was getting booked in the tunnel before he was getting out. They had it in for him. They knew if they stopped Alfie, they stopped Rangers because he was carrying us on his back, Alec. He was carrying us on his back at one point, with Alf. You know, and they knew if they stopped him, they stopped Rangers.
I just wonder sometimes if...
Can I just say one more thing? See all the sending-offs, did they ever hurt any player?
Did
they ever hurt anybody? Was there ever a bad tackle you went, wow, dearie me, he totally and utterly deserves it for that? I mean, there was the incident at Parkhead. Brun should have been half an hour. Brun booted him, and Alfie turned around and leathered him with the elbow. Fell into the but the linesman only seen Alf, didn't see him. You could argue the point that most of these sending offs at Aberdeen get one rescinded, didn't he? He get 85, he get 2 rescinded, did you know?
I think you've got to remember that our job's to get behind our players. I mean, if Alfredo Morelos is selected on Saturday, I don't think he'll start. But I think there's a chance he could be on the bench. I don't know how his fitness has went, and I don't know how fit he is. But he's had 10 days since Easter Road, Linda. He's got to be further down the road than Peter.
Yeah, Alex, is he able to play? Is he still suspended?
Suspension's up, I think.
Is it? Right. I mean, I would agree. You know, as you said, before Easter Road, he was playing, he had a few wee cameos and we thought he was just working towards full fitness. So 10 days, yes. I mean, setting all that aside, that it shouldn't have taken this and we shouldn't have been in this position, he's still our player. I mean, he needs to get back, he needs to get fit, he needs to get firing again, because if we don't offer him another contract again, I believe that's been taken off the table. There was one there, but it's not there anymore, and we don't intend to offer him it again. He needs to get himself back in the shop window, as Stevie says. He's going to have to wait till January. So whether or not we would let him go in January for maybe a nominal sum, because I understand he can go for free in the summer, but somebody might be willing to maybe take a punt on him for 6 months and give us a fee. So you've got to think like that. But I'm more of the opinion that we've got him, we will get behind him, we all will, but let's hopefully get him back to the Alfie that plays really well for us, because we've got some big games ahead.
Well, it was a silly sending off, Peter, but so what does that mean? Somebody gets sent off now, then we don't... Well, John Lundstrom gets sent off against Easter Road. All right, it was rescinded, but he still gets sent off. Do we not trust him either?
As Charlie Nicholas said, he reckons Morelos' reputation went before him. And we've all seen it happen before with players. You know, certain players, their reputation goes before them. A referee's quick to judge them, which they shouldn't be doing, but they're only human, isn't they? And that's what they do with folk. But, it's a good point with Lundstrom as well. Yeah, he got his rescinded, but I think Lundstrom was more unlucky. He went for a professional foul.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they'll get sent off.
Aye. No, I know what you mean. It's just down to refereeing as well, isn't it? How there's no consistency with the refereeing, but I don't want to touch on that because that's not talking about Rangers. But going into Saturday, I can see Alex's point as well. I see all your points. You know, do you fling him in? Do you not? But Linda's hit the nail on the head. It's only Alfie who can sort this situation out. He talks about he wants to play in the bigger leagues. But no, your Spanish league, your English league, well, he needs to prove that he's got the mentality to go and do it. And what better place? Rangers are in the Champions League. And go and do it in the league, do it in the Champions League, then he could get the move he wants, but it's down to him now. He needs to put in the hard work, the effort, show a bit of commitment, give us commitment to January, then you can go with all our blessings. Go and do it well, go and do it the right way. Don't have that game against Hibs tarnish your reputation you've built up for 5 years. Just go and go in a high and try and make the club some money. I know it's going to be hard in January because he's going to have next to nothing left in his contract, but sadly, that's the way football is now.
But a tough crowd. There. I wouldn't like to be in the trenches with some of your supporters as soon as you make a mistake to turn their back on you and get rid of you when you're coming back for a serious injury. Stevie?
Listen, you know I've stuck by wee Alfie through God knows what, but the first time everybody wanted with him, we are a hard crowd, we are a hard bunch to please, and we all get the one thing in common, we all want the best for Glasgow Rangers. Now, I'm going to say this, and I hope he makes me every single one of my words here, and I hope you remind me if he does come back and play. I just think he's ran his course. He's come back a few times, but we've rewarded him with better contracts every time. We've flung the air on him. We've done everything we can do for him, and he still does the wee daft petulant things. He comes back with training late with Gerrard, he drops him. He's done it now with coming on there with Hibs and let Gio down. I mean, he knows, we're up against it, and he does something as silly as that. People are saying, is he ever going to learn? Is there a player there? Of course there is. And if you can get him down, he could take a full back line himself. He can drag them about. He's brilliant. He's back to the defenders and bringing people into play. We know what Alfie's got. But I just think now's the time. There's been transfer windows, he's gone, he's no gone. I just think he's ran his course. I hope he comes back. I will get behind him. If he's in the Rangers team, I'll support him. But I just think now that he's going to get back in the team, and the first opportunity we can get to offload him, I think he'll be gone.
Right, okay. I think we've been joined by Jordan. Evening, Jordan.
Hi, panel. Not spoke to you in a long time. How are you?
Hi,
Jordan, all right.
Hey, Jordan.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, guys. I'm one of the ones always, as you probably know, likes to remain positive a lot of things, but I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting a bit worried now with this lack of transfer activity, especially 3 important games coming up. And I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that it's still early in the season to sort of panic. But I think if we don't get good results out of these 3 games, I might be the one that will start taking a panic first and say, I think a lot of bad things are going to be coming. So I don't know. I still think they need a couple of players. I don't think the team's complete yet, as far as I'm concerned.
I just have to turn the clock back to last Tuesday. Linda, on you go. Take this before I go mental.
Is that the qualification for the Champions League you're talking about?
Yeah, we've won 2 European ties. We've won more European ties in August than a certain team have won since 2003. We've drawn 1 game in the league. And wow, carry on, Linda.
Yeah, I just think it's all to do with the current situation with the squad. I just think if we didn't have so many injuries, and actually Stevie hit the nail on the head earlier on, it's a lack of information for us Ox about the injuries as well. How far away are these players from coming back? I think that would help us maybe relax a wee bit more. But I've got to say, Jordan, I mean, that qualification for the Champions League last week, I like everybody, we were absolutely ecstatic that not only it was us that got the 2 Scottish teams into the Champions League. Probably not enough's made about that. And I actually think as well, Ox, I don't know if you agree, a lot of it is maybe a bit of a panic because of the way that they've started, right? And I know we shouldn't think about that, but it's there. It's in all the papers, it's on all the forums, but it's early doors. and we're the ones that have played 4 games in Europe as well. You've got to remember that. But I do share a bit of your concern, Jordan, because of the way that the squad is looking just now. But I think maybe we'll get some more information, in the next few days about the state of affairs with some of these players coming back.
It's not a
Too
bottomless.
early.
We've not got a bottomless pit. All right, we've made a few quid, but we've spent a few quid, and these guys will be on decent wages. Yeah, for Scottish football. And remember, the players get big bonuses when we qualify for all these competitions. They take a fair chunk of the money you make and all. So all the revenue isn't profit. So remember that the board have got a job to do. Their first responsibility is to the club, not to go out and save 5 million quid just for somebody we might not need in 3 weeks' time. Yeah, Jordan.
I know. I'm thinking I'm one of the ones that because of the, we keep hearing for that mob across the city that you only won 2 trophies in 12 years. 10 years, something like that, innit?
Get new pals.
No, it's not that. It's just I'm not talking about pals. I'm talking about you hear some of these muppets and the media and all that. But I try not to just pay attention to it anyway. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, I'm one of the ones that I see dropping stupid points at a time. As like Call just said, I just want the best for Rangers at the end of the day. I want us to dominate and really give that mob a telling across the city that
I don't want to
give that mob.
No, it's not.
I'm like just prove that mob across the city.
We will draw a game again at some point.
I just want to lay a marker down and prove that mob across the city that they're not as good as people think they are, because they're not as good. This media make them out to the world beaters and they're nothing near it at the end of the day. So I just really hope we go and put a marker down at the weekend.
Yes,
they're in that bubble. They'll get caught out if they play good.
And you come
Stevie, I was going to say, see Celtic in it. I'm looking at them like Deontay Wilder, the boxer. He was slugging guys. He was knocking them out for fun within 2-3 rounds. This was the greatest fighter since Muhammad Ali. What happened? Big Tyson Fury came along and schooled him 3 times. Celtic have played nobody. We went and beat PSV, our 2 legs. That's a proper team. That's a proper, result. Could you see Celtic doing that our 2 legs? Because I certainly couldn't. So put it into perspective. They've played nobody. They're scoring goals for fun against nobody. Wait till they start playing teams. They'll play a team when they play us. We go out there with that no surrender attitude, and that will to win and the togetherness that we showed at PSV. I think that was a masterclass actually with Gio when he dropped Morelos out the equation, because the media had nothing to bite on then. Everything was together. They had us wrote off before even a ball was kicked. He put all the clippings up in the wall. They've got you beat. We went out there and performed the best display of football we've seen this season. It was reminiscent of last year's run in Europa League. It was the backs to the wall, it was the belief, it was the will to win, it was the desire, the heart, everything. That's what we want to see on Saturday. That's the benchmark that we've set ourselves. And then we'll see how good Celtic are when they play against a proper organised team that can hurt them, not just about them hurting the opposition.
I will see.
That's me saying, my man.
Aye, I mean, we have got a long list of injuries, Job. That we'll get. Obviously, Hadji's injured. Morelos has come back for a long injury. Roof's injured. The boys that have come in, Suter and Davis is injured. Have I missed anybody out?
What's happened to Lawrence? You know what's Lawrence?
Pardon?
What's happened to Lawrence?
Well,
I'm hearing daft rumours.
It's rumours, mate. It might be true and it might not be true, but I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow in the press conference. But if he's injured, that's 6 injuries. Now, it's difficult as a board to legislate for that. What do they bring 6 players in to cover injuries, and then when everybody's back, you've got it's a real tightrope you walk, and injuries are part of the game. Some long-term Roof and Hadji, who would add to the quality of your squad if they were fit. So we just have to hopefully ride this storm out. And we've got the players who went to PSV and won the game and got us to the Champions League. Most of them are fit, Linda, so let's go and do it.
Yeah, and I think that's what he said, Gio, when he was interviewed. Although, as we said earlier, he's not going to say anything different. You know that the goal was to qualify for the Champions League, and the current squad of players that we've got, albeit some of them are injured, got us there. He was interviewed right after the Champions League qualifying, when they asked him when we qualified against PSV about maybe getting a chance to spend some money, and he hinted perhaps that would happen. However, they've obviously sat down and they've decided not to, unless somebody went out the door. I think if you had maybe a Kamara moving on today, he was obviously linked with Nice, wasn't he? Then we might have had somebody lined up to bring in. But I think we're going to have to go with what we've got, and we'll just have to see what happens. And if we could get a few of these guys back from injury, I think it would make a huge difference. We've definitely got the players to go and get a good result on Saturday, so let's hope they do that.
And we might bring in another $1.5 million, right? I think it's rumoured to be close that Billy Gilmour's moving to Brighton for $10 million, and that brings us $1.5 million quid.
Yeah. I don't know if that makes it worse, Ox.
I know, it gives us a spare bit of cash, but difficult. But also, it's getting the right players in. I mean, we don't know if they've had a go, and the ones they want they can't get, and the ones that, so they just leave it as is. It's difficult. We never hear all these things as supporters, which adds up to my frustration. Stevie, and then Peter.
Aye. Well, I just look. Gio sees everything that's going on. As I said, his presser the other night, the interview I watched, he was asked, "Are you get anybody else coming in?" Blah blah. He said, "We'll always be looking, but no, nobody." He seemed happy. He seemed happy with that. And I know you're going to say that, but they'll always say that. I get that. I just, we got somebody coming on.
I will hope. I've been joined by Mark. Evening, Mark.
All right, Sips, how you doing?
All right, you?
I'm all right. I'm a bit worried about this striker situation, but
yeah,
because we've not got a spare one.
Well, we've got Roof and Morelos as our two backups. It's just not good enough. It's just not good enough.
Is it because they're no fit, or because?
Well, Roof is because he's not really young, and he's always injured, isn't he?
Aye.
Morelos, I've never been a fan of his finishing. You can't take away what he's done in the Europa League for us in his 5 years, but the Scottish football, he's failed. I think his best record was 18. I've already been on. He's won his 2 cups at 15. His record's pretty really poor in Scottish football.
Morelos?
Aye.
I thought I just maybe I've got it wrong, but I think you want to give him the 11 players, not just one.
Aye, but if you've Rangers' main number 9, it's got to be very good.
Other players have got to give you the chances as well. Yeah, would that be fair, Stevie?
Look, I see what he's saying, but look, Big Kolak has hit the ground running. He's scoring every week, and I think and a centre forward, you're wanting your centre forward to at least get one in every two games. You're wanting him to score, and I don't think Alfred was doing that. I think that's maybe down to the low averages. Maybe that's what the caller's trying to say. You know, he only got 2 goals against Celtic there in the last, say, 12 months, 18 months. He got his 2 goals against the dark side. In Europe, he's been top draw. But let's know, what's the caller's name that came in there?
Mark,
let's not be kidding. At one point, Alfredo Morelos was carrying our team in his back. But nobody else, Alf was keeping us, he was keeping us every week. He was destroying fences, ragdolling them himself, keeping them occupied. his play off the ball, he's bringing people in and people were scoring goals. I mean, it was unreal at one point what Alf was doing himself, and we can't just forget that. You know, and in Europe, as you said, it goes without saying, he was absolutely fantastic for us. Absolutely out of this world. 2 goals at 5. You know, I've been all them all earlier on. But I'm worried too. I would love to see Ruth and Hollander at our club. They're just picking up wages now, phenomenal wages. For Guinness, maybe 1 game in every 6. No, since they got there.
You're being kind.
Good.
You're being kind.
I know. But I would like to see the backside of him now. Now Roof's probably one of the best natural finishes we'll go at the club. But he's no good as if he's not playing. And I would rather see the backside of him, mate. And I'd rather get the wages in the pot and go and sign somebody that's going to be playing for us every week. We've got a problem with injuries now. Other clubs get injuries too, right? But the problem we've got is we've got one guy scoring goals for us now. That's it. None of our wingers are contributing, no midfielders are contributing. You're getting an odd one here or there, maybe aye. But anything happens to Kolach, we're in dire straits. And that was my worry about the transfer window tonight. I thought we would have brought at least one player in, especially with a young boy getting demolished at Dumbarton too. It's not as if you could even bring him in now. He's out the game and on now. And God knows when you're going to see him. So I thought we would have brought a striker in. I really did. You know, I wasn't looking for a top striker, no, a big name. Just somebody to come in just in case he go it. And I know people are going to say, but that's a waste when everybody's fit, then that guy's doing the pecking order. But I would have rather been safe than sorry.
Would you brought a loan in, Stevie? Would you have brought a loan player in?
Even a loan player, mate. Even a loan player. Even a loan player. Just somebody for backup. Just somebody for backup.
Mark, I'll accept your point, and I don't think anybody would argue that Morelos isn't a natural finisher. Yeah, I get your point. But he scored great goals. He's a scorer of great goals. Is he a great goal scorer? No, I don't think so. But arguably at times with the club, he's been our best player, mate.
Aye. That was a good few years ago. Good few stone ago, a few years would say.
Oh, come on, you've also got to be fair. He's come back from a long-term injury.
No, I'm no one for usually taking the mick that way. It's his finishing that does my head in his 5 years. But obviously, he's not the fittest nowadays. You were talking about he was really good for us a few years ago in the Europa League, but he probably scored about 12 goals in the SPL that year. And we won no trophies. He probably missed a penalty in the League Cup that year.
He missed a penalty against them. He missed about 6 chances that day, mate. It wasn't just a penalty.
We're better than him now. We're better. We need to up our standard.
We might have the guy there, Joe, Linda. We might have upgraded and not realised it.
Yeah, I think so, Ox. And maybe we all thought Jolak was coming in to perhaps be the backup striker for Alfie. As we said earlier, he's been an absolute godsend. I think Mark makes a good point, perhaps, about the Alfie in the Scottish game. I think in the last 4 years he's been really great in Europe. I don't think you can argue with that. I think every year he's performed. I know he had the injury just at the beginning of that brilliant Europa League run last year. But Mark, if you think about the first couple of seasons under Gerrard, Alfie was in good form up to the winter break. And then after the winter break, Alfie and all the players lost form, didn't they? And it cost us the league. So if that hadn't happened, and even if he had continued to contribute in terms of his goal scoring, there might have been, we might have had maybe even one more league title under Gerrard. So I do take Ox's point that it's not just one player. We've had periods of time in this team in the last 4 years where a lot of our players have lost form at really critical times, Mark, I think.
Well, gentlemen, Mark, great point at the end. Well, gentlemen in Linda, we've reached that time of the evening. Alex Kelly.
Well, thanks for taking my call. Great show as usual. Look forward to the game at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure we might hear you before it. Mark, thanks for the call, mate.
Thanks a lot, Trips. Cheers.
All right.
Cheers, mate.
Peter.
Yep. Be all right, people.
Peter.
Thanks for taking my call. It's great to speak to you all. I'll listen in the morning and I'll probably phone in, but if I don't speak to you before, enjoy the game at the weekend and let's go and do this mob.
Cheers, mate. Over to you, Linda.
Yeah, great show, Ox. I just hope Rangers can go out and put on a good performance on Saturday. Enjoyed being on with Stevie and obviously your good self, but I've got a feeling we'll do it on Saturday, Ox, and everything will be back to being happy.
Well, Stephen.
Right, Dale, high for me for Saturday, man. We're going to rip them, we're going to roll them, and we're going to do it, man. Get right out there and give it everything we've got. We'll grow into the game, and if we can play, we'll win. Just keep behind the team, no matter what's going on, keep it on house, and just support the Teddy Bears with everything you've got, because we're going to need it this season. Brilliant. Thanks for having me. It was good. Linda being my right-hand woman, and hopefully the Teddy Bears there Saturday.
Yeah. I forgot about Jordan. Jordan, before we go.
Hi guys, good to speak to you again. It's a pleasure. And as long as we score one more goal than what that mob will score on Saturday, that's what I'm kidding about at the end of the day. We are the people, always will be.
Yeah. I'm starting to hope now that Alfie does come on, that hits off his big backside and gets us a winner.
I'm busting out and the ball.
Then it'll be different. Right. Thanks to Jordan, Peter, and Mark for joining us. Your good self, AK. Calling on the League Cup. Stevie and Linda, thanks for joining us, taking part in the show. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals and sorting out some of the issues we had. No, their fault, they sorted it. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night talking about all things Rangers between 8 and 10. Take it away, Old School Blue.
Who's that TV called the Rangers? Who's that TV over there?